Hello, this is Walter Woody of the River Valley Democrat-Gazette. We're here with Van Buren head football coach Mo Henry. We are here for the first River Valley Democrat-Gazette Media Days. They are sponsored by Arvest, and we're hosted by the River Valley Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Coach Henry, last year was your first year as head coach at Van Buren. Just looking back real quick, what was that experience like?
Well, first it was a whirlwind. Got hired a little bit later than what you probably want as a head coach, and then getting into the season, a lot of first and everything else going on. So it was fast. It was fast and whirlwind. But it was, to me, I think it was a good basis to be able to start up, to be able to try to go back and pick it apart and try to see what we can do better.
And now you've had a full off season and everything to put in. Every coach has their own style and what they want to do. So you have to feel like your off season had to be a success for that.
It is, and that was another thing too. Being able to have that time to install with those guys and just ability, and with our coaches. I mean, it was our first year with the coaching staff. I mean, we hired 5 new coaches last year as well, and so that in itself is tough to be able to do when you don't have that off season to install and do those things. So all of those things are a big advantage for us now.
And I know you lost a lot of good players this past year, but you still have 12 returning starters left, 6 on both sides of the ball. Talk a little bit about some of and we'll talk about quarterback Bryce Perkins in just a minute, but talk about some of the other players that are going to be key for you this year.
Well, we do have some key players, and just trying to figure out and see where we played a lot of young guys last year as well, and just to see how that's going to transition, how that's going to evolve with those guys coming back for their second year. So whether it was they were sophomores or juniors last year, just trying to see how they fit in. Offensive line, that's the position that you think of with continuity of being one position together, and we got 2 returning starters. We got some young guys that we're going to plug in to fulfill those voids, but the guys that we've got that came back from them, they're going to be really good leaders for us.
And talk about the Perkins coming back at quarterback. That's got to be nice to have a returning starter quarterback.
It is, because the more, he started for us as a sophomore as well, and ended up getting knocked out with a collarbone, and so half of his season was gone then, but so it took a little bit at the first part of last year, ended up getting a concussion even our first game, so he was even out for that game. So to get in the rhythm and have consistency of games under his belt I've seen the tremendous jump just from this spring and this summer from him, and so it's going to be key for him to have that many games under his belt, and for him to be a big leader for us.
What's it going to take for Van Buren to make another playoff run this year?
I think it's just, something that we're talking about is just being able to finish. I mean, we got to be consistent and control the things that we can control, and finish games that we have the ability to compete in. Because we had at least 2 of them that kind of we felt like we had a good grasp on, and we didn't finish the game, and end up being week 10, end up being on the outside looking in because we needed someone else, help from somebody else. But just control the things that we can control and finish.
And it's always a challenge because the West is so tough.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, with Greenwood, PA, Pulaski Academy, Little Rock Christian, and Lake Hamilton, people like that, it just makes it it's a challenge, but it seems like one the Pointers are ready to tackle.
It is. It is. I'm excited about that, and I think this is where I would want to be. I mean, I would want to be in a conference that has those guys that gives you a reason. I mean, not that you need a reason, but that you give you a reason that you need to go out there and play your best, or you're going to get embarrassed. And so I love the competition of being able to do that. I love competing against those coaches, and just the schemes that those guys have and the athletes that they've got.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.